Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're going to talk about the top three stocks that we're buying in this crash, how we're buying it, how we're maybe accumulating might be a better word. But then also because thumbnail and title is already set, there's actually going to be a fourth one. I don't know why YouTubers do that. Like, but wait, there's a surprise one at the end. There's going to be four at the end. So Mike's back. We're going to talk about his first, and then he's probably going to talk about mine. uh, but I guess let's rock and roll. I'll go first, actually. Well, me, you, me, then the surprise.
Okay.
Uh, First one, everyone should know, and I'll bring it up here. Let me get the chart up here for it. AMD. It's AMD for me. Now, this particular one, I did just buy more. So as we're recording this, you literally just got the alert that I bought more shares. But I also sold the 95 puts for this week. So in anything I sell, as far as puts go, this crash, this endeavor that we're in right now, I mean, you can see right now we're trending down. I think it's a great dip buy. I know Kathy Wood just bought some, and let me just say I do not buy just everything Kathy Wood buys. But we're starting to see some other investors, chime in on the AMD thing. But any puts I sell, I imagine I'm going to own. Come Friday night, I'm getting that email. You own more shares. That contract was executed, so the premium's nice, helps my average. But then also, I think it's going to go much higher. It's not something I'm going to stop out on. What do you think about the 95 price, Mike? What just overall thoughts on AMD? I know we did the one pager on it. We've talked about it, but
Yeah, I like AMD. I think it's at a so. If you saw the other video when we did the one pager,
Mhm.
the fair market value that we had on it was 164.44.
Mhm.
So that's about I don't know, like a 60 something percent increase from where it's currently at if it gets back to that level.
Mhm.
So that's why I really like that one. And the premium that you can expect on it from just owning the shares is not too bad.
Yeah, it's been even in this downturn, we're still like what I assume is not a good stock is when I'm collecting $6 on it. If it's in the hundreds and you're collecting $6 on a covered call or something,
Yeah.
that's a lot of capital out there for
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, AMD it still pays quite a bit more than that.
Yeah, I think it's at 24% or something like that from what I
Mhm.
remember.
Yeah.
And it started its downtrend before the actual downturn in the market right now.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty beaten down, which is why I
Mhm.
think the fair market value that we came up with of 164 is probably pretty close to where it should be rather than where it is right now. So I do like AMD a lot just for that reason.
And for anybody that is new here, I talked about the crash in November.
Right.
And I also talked about why I'm buying AMD. It's because, and again, if shorts are going to pile in something, how much meat is on the bones? If you're going to go short AMD, if there's going to be an attack on there, because I had a lot of people asking, like, you've literally called out a crash. Why are you buying? And that's why I like it now. It's because there's just other things that are probably, if you're one of the quant traders out there, there's more liquidity to jump in short other products right now. Like, it's just not high on the totem pole. Granted, like I've said with everything we're mentioning today, things could and likely will get worse. But how much is left? How much worse? If you look at AMD, I know I just exited the charts, but look at AMD how it's been the past few days, and look at the overall market how it's been the past few days. Markets free fall. We're talking about Nasdaq's an official correction, and AMD's just kind of like had another little red day. Like it wasn't like really anything.
Yeah, it's been holding that area where it's the 90 like 100 to like 95 area
Uh-huh.
for a while now.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we find a bottom there. Anything shorter than that, I'm obviously I will get more aggressive. All of these today are like the entry, like we're starting this now, and it gets more aggressive later. So let me
Right.
disclaimer this. Obviously it's not financial advice. Uh, Take the amount of capital you have. You're thinking, man, that sounds good. I like that idea. Take the amount of capital you have and just understand if I were to break that down into $100, we're spending 20 now. It's 20 now. I guess what 30 later, and then 50 later. Like that's how it's going to stack as it gets in.
Right.
Um, so next up, because we're gonna keep these short. I've been doing a video every day, just
Right.
short, sweet. Hopefully, it's 8 to 10 minutes. I've gotten a couple at that point. What's yours? What What's yours? Lay it on us.
I'm going with Google. I started bought a position yesterday at 165.
Okay.
So it's down, I don't know, a buck maybe.
Mhm.
But no big deal. Again, I'm just starting it. I'll accumulate over the next, I don't know, couple of months with the goal of getting 100 shares and, start selling calls on it. It'll be a long-term play for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind it because overall, I could probably sell everyone on a position right now. And I'm not in the business of doing that. But I mean, that 165 zone doesn't happen to look bad.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this because I'm going to ask you what are your next price points after this. I got a couple. But this is in a bull market. We kind of have the overall trend. Maybe fundamentals kind of take this path. That's why you would try to buy a company. Technicals take the jagged, kind of get a little carried away, but it comes back down. Get a little carried away, comes back down. So in a crash, you likely see a lot of these perfect setups break. But you have to take this into consideration that this was a great bull market. Well, you take it for what it is. Obviously, a bullish market. Now we're crashing. So.
Right.
What if this breaks any other targets?
So right around the 150, 152-ish area I'll be in, and then the 138, I think, or 137, somewhere around there.
Okay, I'm gonna highlight these for you because I really like Google at this bottom zone. It was already a brighter zone, and I just made it a little bit brighter because I need to.
Okay,
I need to set I need to actually set maybe a transparency number. They're all yellow zones for a reason, but the 140 mark, man, I really like Google at 140. So here's your zone, Jay. We got one right around 150, 151, 152. And then you said 138. There's a zone at 137 to 139.
Interesting.
It would be now. I already have Google, and
so I just want to say I didn't even know you had the zones there.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel pretty good about it now.
Yeah. Nice.
Because those are magic yellow boxes for sure.
Yeah. I like them. They've worked out well for me. So yeah, I have Google. The next one I'm going to talk about, I actually already sold. There were two stocks that I already sold a little bit off of, and so I'm throwing it back in now. Google, I already have. So because I already have it, I don't know. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Everything in my investment account, I'm going to be adding into. Google's obviously on there, but there's just my buy it now price. If I see Google at 140, it's I'm clicking the buy button with or without an alert going off that day. Just know there's a video that night talking about how I buy Google.
Yeah, and I would say you have that luxury because you're already in.
Mm-hmm.
Where I didn't have any until yesterday. I didn't have any Google until yesterday, so that's why I'm going ahead and getting some now. So that way I'm at least in. And if it goes down, I will add and continue to add as it keeps going down. Mm-hmm. But if it starts going back up, at least I'm in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And when you're accumulating positions, that's kind of the name of the game. Is your average kind of just it lands where it lands. You try to get the best you can as you have a goal of how many shares you want in there.
Right.
Well, more so, you have a goal of allocation, and you try to get the most shares you can with that money.
Right.
And right now things are selling off. Things are, I guess if you look out your window, it's kind of sunny today, but right now the economy wise, it's not looking great. We're still crashing. There's still a lot of there's no shortage of bearish news out there, whether that's an excuse or like real fundamental troubles out there. Things are getting weird. So the likelihood, I think, of things getting lower, much better. If it happens to turn around, again, cross that bridge when we get there. For now, if the trend is your friend, I have zero worries about that.
Yep. And that's my plan. As it goes down, accumulate more.
Mm-hmm. And which does get me, because this next one's certainly in the hot seat. Whether it's a fan for everyone or not, we know Mike's opinion on this. It is Tesla. Now Tesla again. So I was a huge fan. I mean, if you go back to again right here, go back to April and then June, you're going to see me mention these two moves right here, these little check mark moves. And I was going hard in Tesla. One, I already had a bunch of shares. I was selling puts. I couldn't get assigned to save my life. And then it just shot up. And I told you guys, Tesla's never shot up like this without coming right back down. Almost top ticked it on the short play. But that's as a trader. In my investment account, I sold quite a few calls to let some shares go, which I talked about in these time frames. So now I'm actually taking that exact same amount and putting it back in. So I actually get to skip all of this as far as the downside. Assuming I get assigned this week, because I sold some 220 puts today. This morning it was actually, they were up. They were closer to at the money when I sold the 220 put. This is just a weekly zone for me. So sold the 220 put. It was right around this. We'd already started to pop up, and I clicked at $8 a share on that. So $800 just for that. If we stay here, it was just a free $800 for me. Now, if it pops up, I'm just going to take the free money. If it sells off, I obviously own them at an average cost of $212. So I didn't feel bad about that. Tesla can, with the volatility, and we don't need to get into where Elon's at, but it is, you've heard his name. There's not a single person out there that hasn't probably said the word Trump or Elon this last week. So that's going to come with the territory. That's just not going to, that's not going to go away overnight. Automotive industry, Tesla, I think automotive industry is going to get wrecked. You know, and I usually push back to everybody that tries to value this as an auto ticker. I very much think this is a tech ticker. It has its own cult following as well, but even a lot of tech stuff, valuation wise, still pretty high. And Mike, I mean, we already talked about this. You agree as far as that goes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think there's some downside to not just this one, but all the tech industry. But this one specifically.
Oh yeah. And like I said, we're bouncing out a weekly zone. If the premium was $4, $3, I don't think it would have been worth it, because it was $800 and I had already sold up here, so I'm getting back in. You know, I'm fine. I could have just rode that ride all the way up and all the way down. So to me, everything about this is just going to be a free money play. Outside of this thing just going straight to zero, that's how I would. It'd have to just never recover for me to really lose on this, due to the volatility. That's why I like this one, because I will sell some calls along the way. You know, if I get assigned this week the 220s and I own it at 220, Tesla could be at 200. It could be down here. The 220s will actually still pay me something. So as far as weekly income, that's why I don't mind getting this one now. It's volatility and its ability to still pay right now. If you can stomach that kind of risk, and I don't think a lot of people truly know the risk of Tesla, or let me just say the tech sector in general. I just feel like people are hearing one thing and they're just, everyone gets real gung-ho until it actually happens. You know, like they can't wait to be on the front lines until they're there. They're like, oh, that's another guy shooting at me. Like, this is weird. You know, I didn't really prepare for this, you know? So I don't know. I want to caution some on this, because I fully expect to be buying more. Now at the 180 price, the 180 price for Tesla is similar to the 140 price for me on Google. At 180, I'm just buying more, you know, full stop. That's just the only way I can put it on that one. I forgot to put us back up to here. Did a whole lot of talking while we were small. All right. Is there a buy it now price for you on Tesla? Tomorrow, no. Tesla gaps down. What are you doing? Nothing. It's at $20.
No.
10.
No.
No. If Tesla were to go to $20, I assume the story's over.
Yeah.
Sub 100 would be absolutely insane. Okay. Now I'm curious to your thoughts on this last one, because actually I don't think I've had you on to talk about this last one. And it's Mara itself. And since I haven't had you on here, what do you think about this last earnings? Now, they estimated negative 13 cents a share. Analysts thought 30 to 38 cents a share. Negative, like a loss of 38 cents a share. Yeah. They came out at $1.37 per share, positive 1,000% over expectations.
I like the company. I like Mara a lot, actually. And this last earnings, they killed it. I mean, yeah. That's all you can say about it.
Yeah, talk about sandbagging. That was. What do you think they were sandbagging, or did they just happen to do very well as according to like data centers and all that they went into?
I think they just happened to do very well. I think this was their turnaround quarter, and I don't think they'll be. I think they were just underestimating, across the board, analysts anyway, and so I think that will not happen again from the analysts.
Yeah. Usually when you see a big surprise like that, they start to plan it in. That's
Yeah.
what gets you, that gets you in a lot of trouble though, because like Tesla was the same way for the longest time. Well, they're going to build 12 cars. They came out, it was like 3,000, and they're like, I'd say, not to harp on Tesla. Tesla did it for a few quarters in a row, and then
Oh yeah.
they finally caught on. Like, okay, no. But then Tesla was so red on a quarter, they expected 100,000 units, 100,000 cars, and they did 97,000. I will literally be talking about this on my deathbed because that annoyed me so much. 97,000 was records across the board, and they were like, no, not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, man, that drove me nuts.
Yeah.
Do you have Mara?
I do. I own Mara in a couple of accounts, and I've been wheeling Mara for probably 3 years now. It's probably my number one moneymaker in premium to date.
Yeah. There's a lot of ups and downs, and it's been a good lesson as far as the wheel goes. Because in a picture perfect world, it goes sideways, and you just make money selling calls, and you sell some puts, and you never get assigned. But when you have something like Mara had some volatility with it, and the premiums showed.
Yeah.
So it shoots up. Now you're rolling kind of up and out. I roll just one strike up. I roll out. I'm not trying to roll all the way up and out. And then same to the downside. So as the wheel as a whole, there's ebbs and flows in how much you make each week.
Right.
So it's actually been a pretty decent lesson because like, oh, Mara shot up, so now we're rolling up and out, and then it just sends it to the downside. Like, hey, now we got 100% play on it. Now we're back to that. Goes a little bit further, so you're making a little bit less on your calls. Kind of gets back to that sweet spot.
Yep.
It's like the income almost looks like this: making a lot, making a little, making a lot, making a little. So right now we're making a little,
Yeah.
As far as calls go, but I don't want anything get called away. I'm selling puts on it. And I actually have grabbed. So honestly, I got excited when I saw it at 14. I got excited. I actually grabbed a little bit more. So it's down, but I was like, wow, 14.
Yeah, I've pretty much been riding on free shares for a while now, and like you said, the premium has dried up a little bit because the price is down somewhat. But at this point, it's just free money every week.
Yeah. Once you've sold so much, it covers like your adjusted cost basis is zero. Yeah. Why are you selling? Like you're so much on easy street. Like, like that's what people don't get. Like I had that with Ford, but it took a while to get there. Like people don't really, they don't take that into effect. They're just so focused on the now, and we're crashing right now, the market, right? And maybe it's just a correction. But if you just zoom back a little bit, like hang tight, like, yeah, it might have been a rough week. Like, and I feel like we need to go over this maybe in its own video, because win streaks, they happen just as much as losing streaks, but like people really feel the losing streaks, and I just had this conversation earlier, $1 loss feels like a $3 win, like emotionally, like, so when even the smaller losers, they tend to stick in your head more, like it messes with more further trades. So if it's not an absolute, everyone remembers their PR day, the day they won the most. But what they don't remember is all the other just consistent medium green days. So all it is the PR day, which is one day, and then the days they're losing, and then they make emotional decisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you have a ticker like Mara and you just say each week, I'm just gonna kind of keep going, just keep selling my calls.
Yeah.
And all it is free money.
It could go bankrupt at this point, and I just really don't care.
Yeah, it's literally impossible to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so those are actually the top 4 now. We doubled our time, but not bad. Kind of hard to go over 4 tickers in 8 minutes anyway, with any real meaningful impact. So we're selling puts, we're accumulating shares, we've gone over our buy levels. But now I'm curious, what is everyone's? We love the engagement. The more engagement there is, the more videos that are coming out. That's why Mike's here now. It's not just a Friday video. So keep it coming. We don't care if you agree or like the last thing we want is for everybody to agree. That's kind of just a silly YouTube channel. What do you think about the choices? And which one is there one we missed? That's what I want to know. Which one should we be buying? I want to see what everyone else thinks. Like, what's on the radar? Anything else you got for us?
Fundamental Fridays. What are we doing? We're doing Pepsi.
It is Pepsi.
Pepsi. Oh, Pepsi and one of the meme stocks. We'll see which one.
Let's do AMC and GME together. Does that really need to be? Do you need to spend more than 30 seconds on GME and AMC? GME and AMC?
I'll tell you one thing. I've actually pulled the one pagers already.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised by one of them.
Okay. Well, we'll do.
Maybe we'll do them together. Maybe the following week. But I was surprised by one of them.
Okay. So we got some meme coins coming on Fundamental Friday. If you haven't checked it out, we pull all the facts, whether I'm here or not. Mike's going to go over it. And so remember, these are clipboards. These are numbers on a sheet. These are irrefutable. Okay. Mike will give his opinion. We hope to hear your opinion in the comments. But that's what we're doing. Fundamental Friday, we go over everything. What are they making? How's the company? What's the pulse of the actual company? Yeah. Of course, right now, that will be a site that is coming out later. For now, it's kind of just accessible to our group. Because people have asked, like, hey, where are you getting this information? That is inside. So if you want to check that out, that is the Patreon link. It will be the top pin link in the comment down below. But for now, just keep throwing out those comments. The comments are free. It takes zero. I don't think anyone's ever gotten carpal tunnel from leaving a single comment on a video. So if you can afford just that, comment down below. And we will see you guys in the next one.
See ya.
Have a good one.